Hello and welcome back. In this session we focus on group spaces in our OpenBIS training for the CSE. So far we've encountered personal spaces and the global inventory. Personal spaces, and the name gives it away, is for your personal space where all the data and projects and samples and everything that you create there are only visible to you. The inventory, on the other side, is a global space where everything is visible to all members of OpenBIS. Now we can also introduce group spaces. A bit confusingly perhaps, but they are organized in the field Others as indicated here. And these group spaces can be shared between a distinct group of people. For example, we can create one of these group spaces per project in the CSE, but we can also create ad hoc collaborations if we have, for example, more than one project contributing to a common outcome. So each sub-project of the CSE will get their own project, and each member of the project will be added to this group space, and then they can share data and project information, measurements or samples within the project that are only relevant within this project. So everything that is in this group space is visible within this project, but not to all the other members that have access to OpenBIS. So what are the benefits? Everyone in this project has access to the same data and methods and results, so we can all use the same tools and the same data that is already organized in there. It's also easier to onboard new people, for example, new PhD students joining, or maybe a Hiwi or something, a student helper joining the project. So we just add them to the group space and immediately they have access to all relevant data and methods. It also helps us from an organizational perspective because the information is no longer coupled to individual but to projects. That means that all the details are preserved, even if, for example, some of you move on to a permanent position elsewhere. How do we add members? First we click on More, as indicated up there, and then we click on Manage Access. This will open another window, and in this window we can choose the new role. This is essentially access right management. We have three choices. We can make someone a group admin, or we can grant someone the observer status, that is essentially read access, or for members of that project we can use a user role that has read-write access. So this is how we can also organize or invite other people to other projects. If they don't need to read or write data to our project, we can grant them read status so they can pull data from our project without having us to fear that they modify something. And then we choose this role to grant to a user, and we choose the relevant user name here. If we want to remove anyone from the access, X marks the spot, as obviously indicated by the user interface. If we want then to share between groups, we have several options. First of all, if you, for example, work bilaterally, you can just add members of the other project to our project here. And we can, for example, give them observer status but not write access. Or if this is something that we need to share with the wider community within the CSE, we can move this to the common inventory so that everyone has access. For example, this makes sense if we have samples that are used throughout the CSE, or if we have final measurements that are then needed to, for example, construct the defect-based diagrams. So here we need to judge a little bit what is necessary, who needs access to what.